Hi, you made it to my channel, Niche Gaming. I wanted to demonstrate the power of the Loadstar 1700, and I want to do it through some of these tasks that I did. Now, you could do other tasks, and it just depends on your playthrough, whether the trucks you have, what position they have. So it was just more efficient and time efficient, or I guess space efficient. Like, depends on where the trucks are positioned. It was more practical for me to do some of these. Like, I was scouting. And with this, like my main scouting truck was the Rizvani Hercule 6x6, which I'll do a review for eventually. I was scouting with this one. Certain other parts, like some of the maps are really big. You go on one side, and it's inefficient to go with the other. And you know, this is just one of those awesome trucks that serves that purpose. Can scout, can do, but has all these medium duty power. So look how easily, with this unlucky fisherman task, how easily it just pulls it. So I was scouting, and I scouted the location of the International 4070A, that truck that you know has to be rescued with another truck that has good abilities in mud and everything, and power and all that stuff. So all-wheel drive and diff lock. Now this truck could do that. It would be tough for it, but it can do it. It would literally take everything out of it, because at the end of the day it's a medium-duty truck. But that's really a job for more heavy-duty trucks, so I didn't do that with this truck, but I did come here and just do this. I mean, to pull this scout truck, this Chevrolet CK1500, along with its own scout trailer, scout fuel carrier, I mean, look how easily it just tugs it. So this overpowered scout, this muscle truck, this is where it shines. And it's done. Now, you do have to know a little bit about like when you scout well, you know a little bit about the terrain and everything, and what leads to what, and can you really, is there enough. Sometimes the forestry and greenery is too many trees in between, and you'll get stuck in between them, especially with like a larger size truck. But you know, this truck is small enough that it can get through a lot of that and still easily be able to have enough power to pull everything. And this is just, look how easy that was. The unlucky fisherman can be difficult if you use a weaker truck, and usually like your scouting off-roading trucks, you use a weaker truck, but easily done. This assignment, it's just its position is as such. Like otherwise, there's again same thing wherever there's a lot of greenery or the land is very uneven, you don't want to take too many of your, you don't want to risk too many of your heavy duty trucks. And this truck is just so stable, the Loadstar 1700, and it pulls a Scout flatbed trailer like it's nothing, even with fully loaded. But here, why would you want to load more than you need there, right? This one only requires, the well task only requires the vehicle service spare parts. You just load that on, make sure that's the only thing you load. That's why I wanted to take this off. I had that from the Black River, leftover from some of the tasks and the stuff that's available sitting there, right? So when you move from Black River to Smithville Dam area and you start doing the tasks here, so you just take this and use the power of this truck. Now keep in mind that when you get into the muddy areas, I didn't even get the right gearbox. I should have used the off-road gearbox. You should always use the off-road gearbox in this game with all of your trucks that are going to go into the mud that you require to do any significant amount of tasks with. Never a good idea to try any other gearbox. I haven't seen any good success with any other gearbox. The highway trucks that you're going to use, might as well leave them as normal just to keep the cost low. Why would you even waste money on a gearbox at all? So the highway just isn't practical. You can get away with it. This truck is just so good, as I mentioned in my review. But that's the only thing I regret. I use off-road gearbox. I would have low plus and low minus as an extra. But a lot of times you can just get away with, because it's so stable, you can get on uneven land and go up and outside the regular muddy area and just use the truck's power. Does it so well, just keep it on auto. It's good enough. And then also even the tires, I didn't even get the right ones. I got the UOD3 when I should have gotten the UOD2. For all these heavy-duty tripe or the off-road tires that the best has, get the ones that have the best ability in mud. And for all of these in the UOD category, it will be UOD2 versus 1 or 3, right? The one that looks like it would do best in mud tires. I mean, the tires themselves look like more of the mud tire type. So get the off-road UOD2, and I actually got the 3. So understand, even as well as it's doing, it could have done even better had I gotten the right gearbox and had I got the right tires. Still, it handles it like a champ. Now here, because I didn't have the off-road gearbox, all I could do is low. And if I had the off-road gearbox, I would do low plus here. Because when you're going uphill, pretty much with any truck, especially on uneven land and everything, you almost always want to have that other option, a low plus, right? That would have been awesome. But okay, I still managed. I still did pretty well with this truck, even considering the fact that I didn't have the low plus luxury of low plus to a lot of the money area. The only advantage the UOD3 offers over UOD2 is it's better in off-road. So the dirt pads, and it's a little better on asphalt as well. So when you're going on road, you get a little more control, you go a little faster. That's the only advantage UOD3 offers over UOD2. But if I had to do it again, I just didn't want to, like, even when I realized it, I was like, yeah, whatever, just leave it, right? You know, why do I need to really waste money on UOD2 now? Because I've already used UOD3 to do pretty much all the tasks that I'm going to do with this truck, so leave it. But definitely a better idea to get UOD2 coupled with the off-road gearbox like you would do with pretty much any truck, because there's just so much mud throughout the game that the minor advantage you'll get in the off-road part is not really worth it over all the times you're going to go through the mud, and you're going to want to have the low plus, low minus options just to go more efficiently through the mud and have the extra power in the low gears when you need it, like going uphill or whatever. But it's not like this truck struggled. It just would have been done even better. Like, this would be a big problem right here, getting stuck on a tree trunk with any normal truck, typical truck, but this truck still handles it. Still, it's got that extra stability, body balance, everything. It's just so good. It's so powerful. Over here, I tried to do this with, I think, a Resvani Hercule 6x6 in a previous playthrough. It does require more powerful truck. Sometimes bigger trucks could slip, but they would have enough power to pull it through. This truck offers you that smaller size relative to the heavy-duty trucks, but more than enough power to pull this this curtain-side trailer across this river. Some of these river areas, like you have to be very careful where you turn off, because you can literally fall in the lake, or river rather, and just lose your truck altogether. You could recover it, but pretty much it's like losing your truck completely, right? So that's across the river. You can do across the river with pretty much any truck. It doesn't have to be this one. Any truck that has enough power. But off-roading, scouting trucks, most of those will not be able to handle it, to be able to pull the trailer as well as and some of the advantages of the heavy-duty trucks is they can actually connect the trailer, which is a little more convenient, a little easier than using this truck. But it does a lot of those tasks that are really made for heavy-duty trucks, but smaller heavy-duty trucks, because some of the heavy-duty trucks, they're not going to be able to handle coming here. They might slip. They're too big. I did try to take the Pacific P16 one time through this for some weird reason. I think with a heavy, what was that? One of those heavy trailers or something like that is one of the tasks this is required for, and it was a bad idea. Sometimes the trucks are too big and there's not enough space on there when you turn left and right. So taking a big truck can be a little risky, but Fleetstar would be okay. Like you could do this with a Fleetstar as well, and it would handle it just fine. But the fact that this truck is not even a heavy-duty truck, and it's still handling this like a champ, and that's saying something. That's why I put it in the medium-duty category, right? See, I can't connect this trailer, so I have to do it with a winch. That gives you a disadvantage over, let's say, a heavy-duty trailer or truck, in that you can't use the winch while you're connected to the trailer. Like you can't winch to any of the trees or anything else. You have to disconnect the winch or just keep pushing through or pulling through. There's another time where low plus would have been really a huge advantage. Anyway. Sometimes you make mistakes, you go through, so I would highly recommend get the off-road gearbox and, of course, the UOD2 tires. This is a really tough pull because it's a very sloped terrain here, highly sloped, and there's rocks everywhere, and everything else is highly muddy, extremely muddy, plus there's rocks, plus it's very sloped. So it's a tough one to go up, but you know, this truck handles it. And this is the most difficult part that it has. But like I said, this is an assignment that really is suitable for a heavy-duty truck. Takes up a lot of fuel as well, so typically you want to do it with a heavy-duty truck because it would have enough fuel to get you through. I end up running out of fuel later, but well into this. Like right now, I get up the hill just fine, and because it does have like the 130 liters plus the 100 liters. Because I tried to do like 2-3 assignments, right? I did the across the river and the tools delivery, all on the same tank. So now I'm about to run out the 130 liters. And I still have the 100 liters it gives you as the add-on, as part of the add-on. So one way to do this, one tactic that you use with any truck really, is when for whatever reason you can't get up it because it's just too slope, and along with the weight of the curtain trailer, it also gets stuck on the rocks and the mud and everything. So one tactic always with any truck when you're trying to pull something up would be to pull the truck up, hit the handbrakes on, and just use the winch to pull everything up. Now, if this is doable in real life, it would be incredibly difficult because what you'd have to do, what they don't show, although sometimes when you close in and zoom in, you can see like stoppers to help the trailer or whatever materials you're pulling up. So like, let's say if a flatbed trailer, scat bed trailer, when you zoom in, you'll see that there's something stopping it from rolling back down the hill. Like as soon as you release the winch. In real life, obviously, you'd have other trucks helping, especially something like this kind of task. You'd have other trucks helping. You'd have all the laborers making sure there's rocks and everything else to stop the curtain trailer or whatever, curtain side trailer, whatever materials you're trying to pull up. That trailer that you would be trying to pull up, it would have something to stop it from rolling back down the hill whenever you need to stop. So then you use the power of the truck to pull it up as far as it'll go. You have the laborers ready and other trucks to help just in case. And that's what you do for a real life rescue or pulling up a ridiculously sloped terrain like this. And again, because of some of the uneven land here, that's one advantage that this has over let's say the Fleetstar. The Fleetstar has a tendency to tip right over. So the more uneven the terrain, the more chance, and especially if you're trying to go left, right, the truck can tip over. This truck, there's no time when you're doing this task. Although it's typical, it's nice and slow and grueling. It's going to take its time, no matter how you do it. You're going to take time. It's going to take patient. It's going to take a lot of patience to get this done. But there's no time where you feel like the truck is just going to flip over or it's going to do wheelies. It has enough power to stay stable. The weight is not that much that it can handle it, and it has enough grip, has enough power to keep going. Sometimes even go through all that mud. You just kind of go left and right through the mud, try to find your way. And again, it would have helped if I had low plus. That would have helped, and the right tires, UOD2 versus UOD3, that would have really helped and made this part a little even easier than it was. But yeah, this part is going to be tough no matter what. And there are more risks to taking heavy duty trucks, as I mentioned, like going over the water. There was some risk there. Like here, like when it almost fell over here, even if it did fall over, okay, at the end of the day, no problem. It has an autonomous winch. Whereas one of the advantages of it being a Scout, but the Fleet Star wouldn't have that. Fleet Star tips over, I gotta go rescue the truck. Some of this uneven land, this truck might be the right truck to do it. But again, use UOD2 for the tires and make sure you get an off-road gearbox so you can get that low plus power whenever you need to go up and do some of these difficult tasks. Go through heavy mud or go uphill, heavy mud plus uphill, plus rocks. Low plus the best tires available that truck has for mud. Plus it seems to be raining right when you're doing this tough part, and it makes the mud even wetter and just makes that task a little tougher. Anyway, we got through the tough part. Now it's just a matter of running out of fuel, and I eventually do run out of fuel. But I had plenty of trucks in the right position, so I was able to get this guy the right fuel. Now I could have taken the, but no, I would. It would have been a little more difficult with the fuel carrier. It's just I would have a fuel amount. I don't want to test it with the fuel carrier, but I could have done this with the fuel carrier. But again, I would recommend make sure have the right tires, have the best right gearbox. Then this could have even done it with the fuel carrier attached, and then use the winch to pull the curtain side trailer. But this is a task that really is for a truck that has that heavy duty power, but it has the stability of a Scout and autonomous winch and everything. So a lot of these, this is why I call this is a medium duty truck, stuck in as a Scout in this game. But you know, that's the power of the medium duty truck, has that flexibility. It can do some Scout tasks and can do some heavy duty type tasks. Alright, that was unnecessary. But you can take a little more risks because you know you have the luxury of the autonomous winch, so you can get away with a lot of stuff. But yeah, you'd never do that. You never risk it like that. Ever. Well, and totally unnecessary. There was no need for that. It just always wanted to go fast, and sometimes you get bored. And all of this was done with, I think, 3 wheels, because I had broken one of the wheels and I just didn't want to. I have spare wheels. I could have used it and repaired it, but I was like, yeah, I don't need to. So this was not even the truck at its best. I would recommend you do it the best and just see how well it does. It's just American muscle. More jackknife accidents waiting to happen. One of the reasons I was hurrying is because of running out of fuel. I was like, oh man, I don't want to have another truck. But I had the Pacific P16 coming from the Drummond Island at this point of the playthrough, in my Michigan playthrough. So yeah, it was no problem. I was bringing that truck over anyway. But once I brought it over, I would have it, give it just enough fuel to get it across. Well, I left enough fuel in Pacific P16 to get it to it. So didn't have to be like rescued in the sense that trucks have to go out of their way, but that truck was coming in this direction anyway. I needed to get the Pacific P16 back to my Smithville Dam garage so I could upgrade it and get it upgraded and use it for logging, heavy logging. That's what I use it for. So, and I'll eventually do a truck review of P16 as well when it's time for it. So that's it. 2 like big, huge assignments with curtain side trailers handled. With some minor advice, like there could be some improvements in the way that I did it. At this point, finally, my truck is restored now. This No Country for Old Trucks, this is where you get the Western Star 6900 twin steer for free once you repair it and everything. But now, in order to repair it, you just really need to have the service trailer or anything else that can repair, or the repair parts of your truck or whatever. You need to have something to be able to repair it. So there's this service trailer available here in Island Lake. This truck can easily have the power to pull a service trailer and the Scout flat, fuel carrier with you. So and that's really all you need. It just needs to be fueled up. But before fueling it, obviously repair it. Make sure the fuel tank is okay, so the fuel doesn't leak. So repair it first, and then the No Country for Old Trucks, easy. Now, technically, because you can't attach the service trailer, so that you can't use the service trailer's service parts. So they just made that limitation restriction, so as not to make this truck too useful, right? So you'll want to buy other trucks or use other trucks. So once I got one of my heavy duty trucks, eventually, once I started doing tasks in this area, in Island Lake, that's when I already had the service trailer there. So my big trucks didn't have to go into the ridiculously muddy area, right? Extremely muddy area. Keep them on the main roads as much as possible. Although Island Lake had mud everywhere, but any of my trucks, so they could pick any heavy duty truck that would attach this service trailer, and then use that to repair the 6900 and complete the task. So the main parts for the task are easy. Once you just get one of your heavy duty hauling trucks there that equips the service trailer, and the Scout fuel carrier, as long as it's nearby, it's more than enough to refuel that big truck. The No Country for Old Trucks, easy assignment to complete. So the main hardcore work or whatever that was required to complete the No Country for Old Trucks, I completed with this truck. So that's why I included it as its assignment. Like, I completed the assignment with this one, essentially. But the assignment was not technically resolved or complete until I had a heavy-duty truck eventually. Once I started doing assignments in Island Lake. Because I didn't have the right tires for mud, the UOD 2. I had the UOD 3, so I tried to stay out of the mud as much as possible, but sometimes you just can't avoid it. So go left and right, keep off the mud as much as possible. Sometimes there's mud all over the place, so there's nothing you can do about it. It would have been better to just get the UOD 2 and get the off-road gearbox and get the low plus power whenever you need it, right? You go to the heavy mud, just a lot easier. I've actually tried it in another playthrough or in one of my other files just to test it out, and it was just everything that I'm doing here would have been even easier. Although it's not like it's struggling to handle this. It's got the Scout fuel carrier attached because that's what it can attach as a Scout. That's how it is a Scout in the game. and then has you just winch the service trailer, and you can easily has the power to pull both like it's nothing. Even without the best tires for mud, even without the best gearbox for mud. This last part really demonstrates this truck's ability on going up and downhill and really rough terrain, like within the quarry in Smithville Dam. You could do it in a number of ways. You just need to get some metal beams down there. So there's this scout field when you're scouting and everything, and you find this one in Drummond Island. So you take this metal beams, or this scout flatbed trailer with metal beams loaded already. It's just sitting there with metal beams. So you take this to the quarry. You could use this for other stuff as well, but I figured, okay, that quarry is like, it's not good for big trucks. You want to keep it. The only other truck I took down there was the White Western Star 4964, because it's one of the more stable of the heavy duty trucks that you get early in the game, especially for free. It's one that you get in Smithville Dam. So with the exception of that one, that's the only other truck that I was willing to take down there. It's just so unstable, that quarry area, and it's so easy to tip over that I didn't want to take any other truck besides this one or that one. Or maybe the CT681, the Caterpillar CT681, but I would still prefer to take this one. So I was like, okay, you know what, there's this metal beam sitting here. So for the metal beams that need to be transported to it, onto the quarry for that task, for the assignment called Materials Order, might as well use this one, because I had no other use for this one. Okay. My scout will eventually come here, like I was doing other tasks in Island Lake and Drummond Island, so I was like, okay, bring this back, take this one and head back to Smithville Dam, and this will be one of the last tasks that I do with this truck, and then bring it back to the garage and just park it there. And at that point, I've already brought back all of the scout fuel carriers and used them, or in some other way brought them back. Or use another truck, maybe the Rizvani Hercule 6x6, to bring one of them back to the garage, empty it into another trailer or carrier, and just sell it in the trailer store. Because when there's like 3 of them, you don't need all 3. So it's got this metal beam, which metal beam's like some of the heaviest materials early in the game. And it's got the scout fuel bed, fuel carrier, and through really heavy mud, it's pushing through. An excellent medium duty power American muscle on display. Some cases low plus would have made the wheel spin just like auto does. Other cases like low minus, low plus. When you see my review for the Rizvani Hercule 6x6, then you'll see that, you know, all of those are used to good effect when you're going through the mud. Sometimes low plus, sometimes low minus, sometimes low regular, whatever you need. You always try to go with the maximum amount of power that the terrain allows you to go. And when you start getting wheel spin, then you got to lower the gear or whatever. So if you're in low plus, go back to low, or maybe even low minus. But pulling it like it's no big deal. And I take this all the way to the quarry in Smithville Dam. It's a long way from here, obviously. And that's one unrealistic part they showed in this game. Like, you can get away with like it's something like a metal beam. You can't let that turn over, because then you'll need a crane to put it back on the flatbed or trailer or whatever. But you can get away with scout fuel carriers rolling around. I mean, there's a lot of fuel in there. That's dangerous. That's unrealistic, obviously. The truck has power to pull it like that and still keep it together, I guess, with the winch and everything, but it flipping over, twirling to left, right, again and again, that's dangerous. And that's totally unrealistic. You'd never do that in real life. But it can pull it just fine. It certainly has the power to take this metal beam, fully loaded Scout flatbed trailer, connected to it, and in addition to its own weight, of course, and the Scout fuel carrier, which is again rolling around, twirling around. Totally unrealistic, because when it's got fuel in it like that, you don't want to be, because if it leaks, it could break. That's one obviously unrealistic part, is trailers don't break in this game. No matter how badly they crash or whatever. Trucks get damaged depending on how you hit them and all that stuff, so they do try to give that realistic simulation feel, but trailers get damaged like ridiculous, and you can still sell them for half their original worth, no matter how badly you damage them, because they don't get damaged. They'll show mud or signs of use, but then those signs will go away, like after you reload or whatever, or you change trucks and you come back to this one. It's like nothing happened to the trailer. It never broke, nothing happened, which is again obviously totally unrealistic. So we dropped the Scout fuel bed query because we're going to come back up from the query anyway, and then we'll take it back with us to the garage. But going down here, it's so much easier with this type of truck versus, let's say, the Fleet Star. You're always afraid of tipping right over, and like half of the times you play it, or even more than half, you end up tipping. So I was like, yeah, I'm not taking the Fleet Star down. I've had bad experiences, too many bad experiences with a truck like the Fleet Star tipping over, so might as well use this truck. You do want to be careful, because even if, let's say, the truck doesn't tip over, if the metal beam flatbed trailer gets too tipsy or whatever, it doesn't remain packed and it can even fall off. That's it. That's all I have. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I really wanted to, like, as I mentioned in my review video, I wanted to have a video where I just showcase the power of this truck, how it can handle so many different assignments because of that medium duty classification. It's not exactly a Scout, although it's classified as that in the game, nor is it a heavy duty truck. It's right, it can do a lot of heavy duty tasks and it can do a lot of scouting tasks. And if you know how to use a truck, you can do so much with it. So, anyway, thanks for watching. Hit that like, share, subscribe. Thanks.